Excuse me. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's another hot day, hot Wednesday. Here in the Tri-State area. Sorry, I don't know if I'm talking loud. In this video, how it's gonna come out. I am driving, so I did a little bit of a test run with my camera to see how it sounds while I drive, and it seems like there is some background noise. The problem is I gotta keep the AC on because it's hot as hell, but I just put it down to 2. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, let's get right into the video. You know, the topic of AI is huge, and it's probably going to be a big chunk of what I discuss in this video, in these videos in general, moving forward, because again, it's every day something new is going on with AI. Every day we're hearing new articles, we're seeing news updates, breaking news on how things are developing in the work world with AI. So instead of being a broken record here and on repeat, the video today, this video, we want to discuss how AI, the implementation of AI in the work world right now doesn't really register and compute or correlate with how our economy is run at this point. What I mean by that is our economy is run on a consumer-based economy where people work, people make money, people spend that money on products and services, and the economy is a circle, right, in that sense. As you guys may already be aware, of course, this is no news to anybody. But if AI is implemented the way it is, and if it's going to affect the economy in the way it's projected to affect the economy, then it's either replaced by something new. These jobs are replaced by something new, kind of like maybe what we saw in the in a lot of the past eras, right? Horse and buggy replaced by cars. People probably thought that we're gonna be losing jobs at that point, but that just ended up changing the economy into something different, right? So new jobs propped up by the advancement of automobiles, and we started developing highways and what have you. So there was a lot of jobs in that. The highway development brought forth a lot of jobs. So, and then we saw that again in when the computer technology started to advance. We saw paper, traditional, even now we're still somewhat happening. Like, there's a lot of companies that still use paper. I don't know why, right, in this age, but the digital revolution, in a sense, as I could call it, maybe that's the official term for it, where we started to see jobs be replaced by computer technology, and that brought forth a whole plethora of new jobs, right, when it comes to the IT world and tech. So the tech industry boomed at that point. Now we're going through our next revolution, which is the AI revolution, right? It's like the tech revolution on steroids, basically. So the discussion goes, all right, well, if we don't end up getting another change like we did the last many times when we had, revolution, industrial revolution, tech revolution, whenever we've had these technological changes in the economy, if we don't end up getting those replaced with jobs like they did in the past, then we got to look at a second process, and could be a lot of things, right? Could be the discussion about UBI. It could be the gig economy kind of taking over more than the traditional 9-to-5 W-2s. Everybody's kind of in business for themselves with the skills they have, or like a combination of the two, right? But it's kind of interesting to see, because what we look at as far as the gig economy goes today, and it's also being looked at to be replaced by AI, right? There's articles about Uber and Lyft being taken over by robo-taxis and robo-taxi services, self-driving vehicles. Of course, that's Uber and Lyft is a supplemental gig economy in the sense of like that's what people jump to when they're in between jobs. That's what I did when I was in between jobs. I'm in between jobs right now. I don't even know if maybe I might go back into that. I don't know. So that's what people did are doing up until this point, or maybe for some people it's just their main bread and butter, right? That's their main job. It's Uber and Lyft. It's rideshare. So if that's being changed, and then that would include like Uber Eats. There's a lot of gig online freelance work that's considered gig economy. Like I've used folks off of Fiverr for a lot of the things that I've done in the past and to this day. So there's also that as well. That's going to be really affected by AI. That's already being affected by AI. So what gig jobs are we going to have if we're going to go down this gig economy road, right? And UBI is another conversation, right? It's been talked about for many years. Mr. Yang was a big advocate for it, but it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to work. I think that we're starting to see a little bit of the next generation sort of take the reins. For example, the recent New York City mayoral elections, how Zoran Mamdani took over, and in the sense of Cuomo was already out of the picture. Thank God, right? I don't like that guy. No, a lot of people don't like that guy, but he conceded. He saw the writing on the wall. He was going to lose the primary, and Mamdani won. And now it goes to, I believe, my understanding, in November he's going to face off against Adams, right? Who's running as an independent. And I don't know, maybe there's another chance for Cuomo to get in there. I don't know how that works. I'll have to kind of talk to some of my friends who work in politics a little bit to understand that process. But yeah, so these folks are implementing new progressive, some people say radical, but progressive ideas, and I'm interested to see how that works. And New York City will be a great model for that for the rest of the country, right? The rest of the cities. I hope where I live now, my home is Chicago, takes that as well, because we need some of that there too, man. We have a lot of problems. Might not be in the same way because our problems in Chicago are a little bit different than our problems in New York, but at the same time, there are a lot of the same problems that are across all cities in the country. So, yeah, these are the folks that are going to be looking at this down the line, and they're the ones who are going to have to, folks like him are the ones who are going to have to be a part of that conversation. How do we safely implement AI without upending the economy to the point where, mass unemployment is not good, because mass unemployment doesn't work. Again, reiterated, I know I'm saying this again, mass unemployment doesn't work with the economy that we have set up today, with the pro-capitalist, free share market, whatever you want to call it, economy that the U.S. is run on. Mass unemployment does not work. When we went away from all being farmers and when we went away from all kind of running our own show and started moving into the big cities in the early 1900s to 1940s, 50s, what have you, and even beyond that, we accepted this ideology, like, all right, yeah, now the 9 to 5 is the thing, right? It was already developed by people like Henry Ford and whatnot to be set up that way. And it's like, all right, are we seeing the end of that now? I don't know. Yet to be seen. So that's just a lot to think about, right? That the upending of the economy now, what's going to happen? Is it going to be like it was in the past, where a whole new category of jobs and positions opens up? And if that doesn't happen, what's the contingency plan? And are we leaving that plan to the U.S. government? We already see how this administration is handling things. And besides that, when there was a bipartisan, even back in 2020, I look back to that. I use that as an example a lot, because when there was a bipartisan movement at that time to send how do we handle the COVID pandemic, they kind of just drafted this whatever it was, 900-page long thing within a week, and it was all half-assed. And we saw how that worked out for us, right? For most common people. It might have helped for few, but I don't think it helped a lot of people at all. So we rebounded from that, but are we gonna leave it to those same people to make the decisions on this? Is the discussion of AI even happening with Congress and the other group? Are they still focused on other things that might even be irrelevant down the line? So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a food for thought type of thing. How do we move forward with AI? Is it if no new economy is being created out of it like we had in the past, then where are the discussions about UBI being taken seriously? Where are the discussions about changing the economic standpoint being taken seriously? Because are we going to leave it to companies to do who look at short-term gains? The CEOs and the shareholders, are just looking at, shareholders might have more invested in it. Of course, they have more invested in it, but the CEO is just looking at what he can get in his tenure, and then his or her tenure, and then move on from there when the next CEO takes over. It's their problem, right? I guess. So, all right. Well, I'll upload this video soon. I have another video I'm gonna create today as well. Or I might upload it tomorrow. And that discussion is back on birth rates and some hypocrisy that I'm seeing. And this is also in how birth rates and AI implementation aren't really coinciding either, because the two don't make any sense. It's a little preview of that, pretty much what's coming up. Again, guys, if you're in the tri-state area, please stay cool, stay out of the sun, hydrate, and some cooling down is coming up. So looking forward to that. All right, guys, bye.